The goal of this set of videos is to talk about how we as faculty can help our students become better critical thinkers. This set of videos is the result of a project that was conducted at Birmingham Southern College with support from the Associated Colleges of the South. I'd like to begin by introducing the three faculty members who conducted this study. I am Melanie Stiers. I'm an associate professor in the biology department here at BSC. Pete Van Zant is also an associate professor in the biology department, and Kate Hayden is an assistant professor in the Department of Chemistry and Physics. So I'd like to begin by talking about why we decided to conduct this study. In our classes, we know that it's very important that we both teach disciplinary knowledge that's specific to whatever our classroom is, as well as teaching students to use their critical thinking skills to apply that knowledge. And certainly these are gears that work together as students learn. What Pete, Kate, and I noticed in teaching our courses is that for many of our students, while on exams they were able to regurgitate and understand some basic level of content, when we asked them to apply that content, many times, even if it was clear that they knew the content, they were unable to use their critical thinking skills to apply that content. So this led us to evaluate how were we teaching these critical thinking skills, because a lot of time in our classes is spent on ensuring that students learn the content of our specific discipline. However, the more we thought about it, we realized that we were expecting our students to be able to think critically without providing the scaffolding and instruction for them to learn those critical thinking skills. This is not only important to us as educators. A recent survey by the American Association of Colleges and Universities found that not only is disciplinary content important, certainly, but also having a breadth of knowledge from a liberal arts education, as well as being able to apply that knowledge through thinking critically and communicating clearly, is also very important. So in the early stages of this project, we began by learning ourselves. Certainly none of us were experts in critical thinking and how we teach it. So we set up a workshop bringing in outside speakers to focus on three major questions. First, what is critical thinking? Second, how can we teach critical thinking? And third, how can we evaluate whether our students have actually gained these critical thinking skills? With respect to the first question, what we learned through engaging in active learning activities with our colleagues from across campus and also outside of campus is that there are lots of answers to the question, what is critical thinking? Certainly things like being able to evaluate information, being able to develop hypotheses, being able to apply information to real-world problems. All of these and many more skills can be used to define critical thinking. So our next major question was, how can we teach critical thinking? There are lots of different answers to this question as well. What we found through our research as well as through our learning in this workshop was that most effective practices that have been shown in the literature to improve critical thinking skills involve some type of active learning. However, this created a significant barrier for us. As teachers, all of these active learning practices take time. What we have experienced for most of us as a part of our own education is that during class, the focus is largely on content delivery, and frequently most of the application part is actually outside of class. However, the approach we decided to take was the flipped classroom. And the flipped classroom basically takes this model and turns it on its head. Students focus on learning the content before class. This allows an increased amount of time for active learning activities in class that focus on applying the content and developing students' critical thinking skills. In our case, we decided to focus on content delivery using blended learning. So all of us developed lecture videos that contained all or part of the lecture content, and students were responsible for watching those videos and doing the reading in the textbook outside of class. We've talked already about why did we undertake this project. The focus of the next two videos will be on how did we actually undertake the project, what methods did we use, and how did we decide to measure critical thinking. And then finally, the focus of the last video will be what did we actually find and how can this knowledge be applied in future classes.